Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang this morning, and welcome also all who are joining via broadcast today. Thank you. You come. After.
Precious Lord, I come to you today through grace. Kind relatives in grace, good morning. Good morning to everyone watching. I was one of those people watching. You came to me at a time and in a way that I could accept through grace. I was reminded of my mortality by doctors, and so I spent a lot of time watching YouTube. And there was there you were in your plaid shirt on your land with your bag on your head. and it said, I think it said something like, my message to the world. And I went, well, before I check out, I got to see what this guy's got to say. So, and in it, you did the most beautiful thing that really helped me, was this. Yeah. And I walk like this. It didn't work in traffic always. I have a tendency to have a rubber band kind of response to traffic sometimes. But I just want to say that in so many ways, grace and miracle puts me here. Yes. I have nothing. I've been nothing. I have followed ways different from these ways, but they've come in over the years. And one thing I want to share with you is I had occasion about 17 years ago to be drawn by grace to Satsang Sai Baba temple. Mm-hmm. And the people there had been followers for a long time. I'm a follower of God. I go where his path takes me. It's the way I've always been since I was a child, and even before I came out of the womb, I have memory. So I just want to say these things. I don't want to tell a story, but I want you to know that they had a picture that Satsang Sai Baba, when he was asked by people, I think it must have been like 30 years ago or 35 years ago, he would have people in a room and they'd sit around, the people who were important or whatever, and what they did, what one person asked him was, what did Jesus look like? And then a few seconds later, back in the day when they used Polaroids, this Polaroid went kerchunk and this picture came out. Mm-hmm. And I remember that picture. I had a copy of it, of a copy, until we had a house fire, and luckily none of us were hurt, but everything was taken from us in the fire. And so after I saw you on YouTube, I tried to contact those people that may have a copy. Those elders are gone, but that group, that Satsang Sai Baba group, still goes and whatnot. And they never did respond to my email because I wanted to send it to you, because it looked like you out of focus. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and I want to share how ever since this journey began, being able to come and then not being able to come, and all of these different things. I feel like your stockbroker that, drug his way to your feet to meet with you. That's the way I feel. I feel that in the way that I've followed, which is my grandfather's way, Native American way, Lakota, we do Sundance. And to me, you represent that eagle whistle that we blow. And we're taught that holy people, they are like that eagle whistle. They clean themselves up so only God can flow through them. And that's what I adore. That's what I love. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I got to be here, and I just want to tell all the people that are watching, don't give up. Trust grace. Grace will bring you where your heart is. And so I just want to say those things.
Yes. And we delight in hearing them because everything that comes from the heart nourishes and nurtures heart and reminds us of our true place, our true self. And this is why we feel immediately, no argument arises in the heart when the truth flows from you. No argument comes really. From the mind, it's a bit disturbed and you know that he's off key. But inside you feel immediate resonance, no? Because it brings such satisfaction and such peace. Very good.
Thank you so much for your beautiful home and the beautiful people that have tenderly cared for us. Yeah. And that's all I'll say. It's just beautiful. And may I come forward?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you, my love.
Same.
I've waited my whole life.
Yes.
My whole life has brought me to this point.
Yes.
You have my life, my divine love.
Thank you. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, I realize you're my father. You're my master. And the person that stood up the other day was Plastic David. He was the one that I've been trying to be all my life. And as I've been here in Sahaja, I've just felt like every step is home. And I'm so grateful that you have this place.
Yes.
So grateful.
It is for you.
That's what it feels like. And all my life, yesterday when those two beautiful young people stood up and shared about it coming to them and they didn't really want it or weren't looking for it. For me, I felt like ever since I've come out of the womb, I've been looking for it. And what's stopping me in this path is both this, I have this great devotion and this great longing. And I knew the first time I saw you and like tears just started coming down my eyes. I've been looking for so long. And what's underneath everything that I've tried to make up for is rage. I'm angry that I'm here. I know I didn't know what I was looking for. I just forgot it. And it's led me to, at a very early age, having this anxiety condition, this panic attack. I'm here, I'm in this body, I don't know what to do with this thing. Okay, I was told to go do this and have this career, and I did that. And I tried to follow that. And And it led me to just feeling very uncomfortable being in this physical form. And I found a teacher and a Sangha, and for 13 years, I felt I found at home. But then, and then I fell into sexual addiction. And I didn't want it. When it came, it was like a match to kerosene. It took me over. And it was the closest thing I could come to feeling home. And it destroyed my person, just the worst part, the narcissism, the arrogance, the pride. It's like the ego just thrived. And I felt split in two for my entire life. And I didn't know how. I read scriptures, I read books. And it wasn't until I found you, that I began to feel that maybe there was a way back to this place.
Yes.
That I felt I dropped from or something. I don't know how to explain it.
Yes.
Like, I know I'm supposed to be grateful to have this human form. and I practice gratitude. I try to do that. Anyway, I just wanted to come tell you this. I just wanted to reveal this because the layers fell. First, I thought I was here to let go of this addictive tendency, and then I would come to satsang, and I was taking my anxiety pills like candy because anxiety was popping up as I was here, and I couldn't get away from it.
In a funny way, because it has to come up. Sometimes we feel we're here and now. You've come to peace land, and and then pow, things coming up, no, and they have to come up. Whatever has been hidden, because otherwise, it would just be putting icing, over sardines. You see? So that has to come up to be burped out. And because you're in an environment that is supportive for that release. And sometimes you meet people, sometimes we all experience, you might meet someone you've never met before. And right in that company, you start to spill everything and tell everything. Because so much love is there, so much freedom of judgment is there. And without the intention, it just almost like some reflex. Your heart opens and you start to speak because the space is there for that. This is one of the great offerings that can come from us, that you allow each other space. Because we don't come by our opinions always because you sort of develop them necessarily. It's like everyone is the consciousness just deals out some opinions in different bodies. And you feel, I really believe this. But actually, in the end, it's all dream stuff, actually. And a way in which consciousness must use to work itself out of being so moralistic or so tight or so whatever it is, and to find the real discovery, which is home, your own self. Then many of these things, they fall away, or you simply forget them. Not everything has to be attended with blood, sweat, and tears, Some things just fall away. And this is grace, so that you may know that grace is.
And I've known that. I've known that because, you have 2 videos on YouTube on addiction, and I've transcribed them and I read them, and where's the addict? Where's the addicted one?
Yes.
And I've been doing that with anxiety here. Where is the one that's anxious? And that led me to, it's the rage. The rage is underneath it all.
Okay.
And now it's that, but it feels primordial. It feels, of course, it's my belief of making it bigger than it is. Of course, it's not real. But there's this feeling as if I was robbed of something by being in this limited form. I know that is misunderstanding and it's ignorance. And I'd like to break through and understand the blessing of this.
Yes.
Because I haven't for 58 years.
Yes.
And I haven't. And I've come home to my Father. And I feel I can talk to you. I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful for the Sangha.
Yes.
I've been looking for this for all my life.
Yes.
And I think this is why I'm here. I think it's kind of crazy I had to go through all this for 58 years, but I guess it's the play of consciousness, right?
We can leave it like that. It's a play of consciousness. We see what happens in your being here. And somehow, with your bringing forward this, we will see what arises now out of this from here on, you see? Because there's something very powerful in confessing something and, putting it in the light so that it doesn't remain in any shadowy area where it's drawing food but unrecognized. It's good you expose something, and then we see what happens now, because you're in a state of grace. And so we will see, and you will see, and experience the deliverance of this must come, you see, or some greater understanding, a way in which it will not be dominant in you. So I'm very, very happy, and when you speak like this, I feel a lot of love. When we speak and we show the thing you sometimes feel you'll be rejected for is a thing we love, because we see it's a great mirror in which we all see ourselves reflected in that. And someone once said, I may not like everyone, but I am like everyone. Because when I see something, I say, I've been there before. I've thought that thought. I've felt this way. You see? Maybe not to every single detail, but in the spirit of it. It simply won't be our focus right now. A greater purpose is here, which is to somehow recognize irrefutably your true place, not just as a mental concept or as some kind of idea of what you want to do in the future, or even as a practice, but to be so completely confirmed in yourself. And even if we make a greater start, a greater step today, it will continue bearing fruit.
I couldn't think of a better place to reveal it.
Very good.
I'm grateful for you giving me the space.
Yes.
I'm so grateful.
Very happy.
Thank you.
Come here. Okay. Sorry. Come. Okay. Thank you.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Much well. She reminds me of one time. It's like someone comes to your door, ring the bell, you open the door, and they look at you and goes, yes?
I was trying to find a way of saying this, so I will make a very small story. The other day you were speaking about Ramana, and some devotee asked something to him, and he answered something like,
Go back the way you came.
yeah, go back the way you came.
Yes.
And I don't know how, perhaps because I have a lot of yoga impressions, samskaras. When you said that, it was like a trip start for me, inner trip. I closed my eyes, and suddenly the whole universe was like being absorbed, going back, like when you put rewind on the tape, on the film, on the movie, and it was going back, back, back. And then it reached the point that it was silence. And then I was not anymore the witness of this silence. It was like I think in that moment I understood the title of Papaji book, Nothing Never Happened, because suddenly it was that, formless, not even silence.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you say, was.
yeah, that's true. I was speaking on the past.
Why is it not still is?
Is. It is.
Is it? And that? If it is only an experience that happened past, then you are relating of something from past. You say was, isn't it? Yeah, it was like that. Why not is like that?
We were doing the bhajans half an hour ago, something like that. And again, it is.
Yeah.
And then all the songs and all the movement and people dancing, it was like movements rising from this stillness.
Yes.
And not even silence, only that. And then it was this, it is now this feeling of melting in this. Not even saying that going back home because there is nowhere to go because it's everything. It's
Yes. What arises from the mind, you will relate to as is and was, but from the heart, is, not was. You see, what comes from mind, you may speak is, was, will be, maybe, but from the heart, is. It has no sell-by date. The truth never grows old. And this is why it is referred to as timeless. Against this, you can see the waves of time, the changing suns of time you can see. And you can say, yeah, it was like this was like that. This was like that against your isness. Within your isness, and that happened, that play, it came and went, you see. Like a writing on water, all things come and go. And are observed to come and go from your isness.
Not even observed anymore. It's like being that. I don't know how to express. And this feeling of melting. And
Melting even also is of time. But important within the play of life existence. Some things will come, some will rise, some will fall, some come, some go.
and then it came to me that I should come here because I think there is a point where you cannot go further without the praise and the blessings of the Guru. And right now I think I'm on that point, so I need blessings to...
If there's further to go, if there is further to go, then will that further be phenomenal or non-phenomenal? Do you understand when I use this term, like phenomenality and so on? If there's further to go, is it further into non-phenomenality or in phenomenality? Meaning that, is it further to go in the realm of evolution and growth and becoming, or is it further to go in the unchanging, in the unmoving, in the formless?
I would say that it's further to go, and it's only a way of trying to express something.
Yeah, it is important what I'm saying though, because somehow it's good that it becomes clear in your mind. See? That this further to go, in a way, there's some truth about it, because there can be a continuing state of maturing and refining. It will continue against a background of unchanging awareness. This is paradox, isn't it? Something remains completely untouched. It is not in an evolutionary process. And yet within the realm of the dynamic expression, a change continues, almost unfathomable. Continue yielding, more subtlety, more intuition, more like this. So it is important to clarify, to see, but I am. But at the same time, observing of the movements of time and change occurs to me. And it is pleasant, it's a joy to see more of what there is falling aside. And yet, in the place of awareness, nothing to fall aside, it is there.
There is, as you said yesterday, something like the dispel of the illusory ego that has to be dissolved also.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is the Guru grace.
Yes. Guru's grace removes final arrogance. You see, never feel you are without arrogance. It's more safe to feel, yes, there's some arrogance is there. And then something opens up and allows that to be removed. Even the thought that you've got something, you see, subtle, but still form of arrogance, you see, because it holds the high, the achiever even, you see. You just continue melting beautifully away, without assessment, checking in. Where is the location of I? Is there I? Where? And what is investigating this? Sometimes I use the expression like reversing a glove. It's like the egoic identity is being reversed, you see. If you try to pull your hand out of the glove, there's always some still tucked in the other way. Then you have to squeeze them out. And this squeezing out becomes your sadhana. Not everything comes one time like that. So this subtlety means you become more contemplative. When something strikes a chord inside, you will sit with it and ponder over it and contemplate and look until quietly it leaves. It's evicted, you see. And you don't say, yes, now it's finished, over, even though it may be. And this joy, you don't derive from things. This is the bliss of being. When the self is marinating in the self. And you'll find functioning can happen still. If you have to sweep the house or prepare a meal, that can happen. No special climate is needed. You don't say, well, I'll be able to get back to my meditation or get back to where I should be after I finish this. Then you see you are creating these segments, these departments, which don't exist in reality. But if you buy into that feeling, that, you know, when I'm finished with this, or when the children grow up and leave, oh my God, then I can focus my attention on this. You don't buy into this, like that, then this is perfect. Once one man, he was having satsang, and then he went back to work in Paris. Then after some time he phoned, and he said, I said, hey, how are you doing? He says, I'm fine. Well, actually, to be honest, today has been very stressful. This is why I'm calling you. Very, very stressful day. But now it's coming to an end. I am finishing in half an hour. I'll go home and get into a nice bath and stuff and just get back into my silence. I said, wrong. Your silence is now. Your silence is now. Don't let the mind steal it and put it at the end of the bathroom. You see? And simply he said, thank you. Like that. Quickly, you see? Because when your mind, when you're accustomed to the being, somehow, and then quickly you'll catch these things, you see? He didn't argue. He simply saw, this was another twist of the mind again, and I was falling for it. I was putting some condition on my being that now is suffering time. But after I have nice hot bath and put some incense and, then we'll get back on course. You see? I said, no. Kick this idea out and immediately your peace is there. We're simply coming back into the fullness of your own wisdom, your natural wisdom, to catch these things all the time. And don't try to be any particular way. There's no way to be. Just be. Don't overly control, especially if it's moving towards suppressing. Don't do. Simply keep your attention one with you. And such joy, it's such joy to do. Don't think it's a task. Because man will tell you, but it's hard, isn't it? And you think, yeah, it is hard. It is your joy. Move freely. He says, wherever you go, in whichever direction, the needle of the compass points north. Similarly, whatever thing you're doing, that the compass of your attention is always in the self. Keep your mind inside your heart, and everything is fine. Don't be walking in measured steps. It's the most oppressive thing. Unless you enjoy. If you enjoy, then oh yeah. But if you are doing it to be spiritual, then why this burden? Good. We're good. Okay. Who feels a burning thing to come? Yeah. Then this one come then. Yeah.
Guruji, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Sangha. I feel so supported, and this is a great opportunity for me, and I want to express my deep, heartfelt gratitude for the carrot cake, for the milk, for the tea, for the chai, for the hand. Unboundless love is here, unboundless love. Love is everywhere, and then the masters are here. The other day, Guru Purnima Day, something that I've been so blessed, I'm so grateful. The words don't express the gratitude that I have. And something clicked, like I was looking and Jesus Christ is here. And Guruji, I thank you so much. Christ is in my heart. Christ is in my heart. And I didn't grow up in a strong Christian family. And in England, in those days, we we had assembly at school. I don't know whether they do it now. And you sang hymns, and I love to sing the hymns. So I sang, and then we had songs of praise on the radio, and I had a hymn book. And I would walk around on Sunday in the house singing, glad that I live am I, that the sky is blue, glad for the country lanes and the fall of dew. After the sun, the rain, after the rain, the sun. This is the way of life, till the work be done. All that we need to do, be we low or high, is to see that we grow. Nearer the sky.
You took off there. Good, very good. Very good.
And then there was a lot of taboo about Christianity. I was in groups that, Jesus, so, and then I went, as a child, I went to the church and knocked, and I said, I was 11, I said, I want to meet God. And so I did become involved, and then they said, the priest said, but you're guilty. So I said, I'm not guilty. I don't feel guilty. Do I have to feel? So I left. So that was it. But then you brought Jesus into my heart. So I have the Bible in my tent. I can't believe it. I do. And then 2 Christmases ago, you did the most beautiful rendering of the Lord's Prayer. And then in this year, I went to Israel. I was invited to a wedding. And by the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus spoke the Sermon on the Mount, there's a big church, and then there's it's beautiful, and you were there. Mooji, you were there. I saw you there. I saw you there. And you are here. You are here. And so I can't believe I'm up here talking like this. So I've stopped looking. I'm not growing, like you said previously. I'm not. There came a point after I met you, I stopped this searching. So something's been shifting, and it's a bit like what you said before. The expansion of the heart. You didn't say those words, but that's my words. So that moving into the expansion of the heart is happening.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, when you say that I stopped searching, did you stop by intention, or somehow something relaxed back from an obsessive pounding search, or what? Did you say, from now on, I'm not going to search anymore? Or is it that something simply relaxed and felt, it's okay just to be here for now? Which is it?
It was more like just an unfolding.
Yes.
Like this, there was like, I've got to find God, I'm going to meditate now. And what's going to happen now? And so now I'm going to do Zazen. And I did Zazen, and I went to the Zen master, and and I said, like, oh no, just, it's okay. It's okay. I can take a rest. I can relax a little bit. So and yet somehow the work isn't finished. It's not finished, and it's not even as if it's work. Like, I can relate when you say it's a joy.
Yes.
It's the joy now.
Yes.
It's a joy,
Yes.
and yet things. And I'm not doing them, and it's a happening,
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
And thank you for seeing. Thank you for seeing me, Mooji.
Yes.
I feel so welcome, and I really appreciate how generous you have been. I so appreciate that. It means so much to me. I'm talking a lot.
It's important that one remains open and receptive to what resonates in your heart, because this is the most beautiful unfolding, you see. Rather than trying to steer things or to try and simply satisfy or fulfill your projections, just to be open and present. And somehow there's something very receptive in that and responsive. It happens, you see. And so you are feeling more that you are being taken, more than you're going somewhere. So this is why it was important for me to ask, did you deliberately intend to stop seeking? Like, as from this day, I am going to stop or something, or I'm not going to seek anymore. Because then what happened is that you maybe stop seeking, but you retain your ego, the one who stopped seeking. You see? Sometimes this seeking just collapses by itself, or it slows down, or it changes into another way. And be willing, because the being is infinitely flexible. For a season or two, it may go a certain way, and it might just roll over and move in another way. And all of these ways are just the way in which the ways in which the consciousness finds that's what it wants to do. It wants to do this. But as you hold still and be one with that unchanging awareness, then all that needs to change will feel totally natural, and correct and beautiful, you see. Sometimes full speed. Another time it's like the plug is pulled and you are aware of all these changing modes and moods of consciousness. And don't try to fix them like the mind tries into any sort of static thing that to be relied upon. It's a dynamic flow. In its dynamic expression, it's let it be free, as you are free. But recognize the unchanging, you see, from the unchanging.
May I speak a bit more? David, I think his name's David, and everybody that's come to the microphone and everybody that's sitting here, everybody gives me courage. I thank you for that. And I did want to say, so I'm aware of something that never changes. There is an awareness.
Yes.
I know, and it feels like the tests come so strong, and I have some like I want to call it a demon, even though I know it doesn't exist. That's been there since I was a kid, a little girl, and very sneaky, wants to say I'm okay, I have to say I'm okay, and actually it's like, and since I've been in Sahaja, it's every time I come to Sahaja, I'm so happy to be here, and then at some point it's like, this old pattern comes so strong, and I've managed this 60 years. Okay, I managed, they didn't lock me up or anything like that. And I know people, my friends, some of them have been locked up in the asylum and so on, and killed themselves. So I was spared, and yet I'm it's not like even to do anything, maybe even just to say it in like a confession. And like yesterday came so strong, and it's like wanting reassurance. And so I don't ask directly. I'll make up some. I'll say I might be a phrase like, "Oh, can I have a cup of tea?" And I don't. I want reassurance. It comes from when I was a kid. I pretty much understand it. I kind of intellectually, or I think, but then it gets more and more, and so the certain thoughts come, and then there's this huge dark feeling, and I breathe, and I'm there, and I can walk around, but it's really. So I would guess I wanted to ask you about that, and just to continue in my going to the remembering.
If you stay and get increasingly happy in being yourself, gradually these shadows will fade away. They are not. The greatest thing that can happen is when the mind loses its significance, and these tendencies, they are not given much attention. So you're here having a cup of tea and you keep on like this, he will soon go. You see? If we give so much importance, oh no, here he comes again, excuse me, I've got to go in the bathroom, and then in a way we give so much respect for that, and not to retain the story and the link with this memory even, you see? Because it is nothing, it is not in service to anything at all. It is not in service to your truth. And, simply you turn away from it. And if you had to, you would, of course. If you had to drop him, as we say, we're in the lift. You start time, you're in the lift, and he comes, I don't think you're going to miss your chance, because it's there. It's my turn, excuse me, and you'll be in. And you will have no time for it. So in the same way, you can dismiss things. You have the power, you have the authority also, to simply just stop something. You see? And we show it when life puts in front of you something that is life or death. It's your choice, and you will choose life. And by choosing life, you have to say, nonsense, don't pay attention to that. Sometimes we have too much time on our hands or something. And, so, oh yes, here he comes again, and I must do my mantra, I guess. You chop him, boom, he's out.
One more thing is, the other night when I felt all the masters, I was with the beautiful master before I was with you, beautiful master. I've been blessed to have two beautiful masters, and I'd never seen a picture of him here, and then I looked over there, and there was Osho. So thank you, Osho, for bringing me here, because he brought me to you. He said, you need to go to Mooji now. And so you are my master, Guruji, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Yes.
May I come?
Yes. Master is one. He is the Satguru inside the heart of every being.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you so much. I'm so grateful that you see me.
Yes, I'm happy. Are these the ones we take a little bit on this long one? No? So I will get around to that one. Okay. My dear, sweet, most precious, beloved Master Sri Mooji, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are always in my heart, never can we be apart. Since the very moment we met, my head and heart have been resting at your feet. All praise and glory to you, Holy Father. I love you so, so very much. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Love, love, love. Your humble disciple, Kenny. Very good, Kenny. You're here. Beloved Father, I bow down at your holy feet, my pranams and deepest gratitude to you for everything. I surrender my head, heart, and whole being at your feet. I love you and thank you for all your love, guidance, and grace. Please replace me with you. This is my constant prayer. I cannot fully express my love and gratitude to you in words. Wishing you and the Sangha a very happy Guru Purnima. My deepest gratitude and love to the Sangha for their selfless service and unending dedication. I am participating on this online retreat. Guruji, I love you and you are in my heart and being. With deepest gratitude and love. Ananya. Very nice. Nice. When I see how much patience and love you have for us, my ego has no place. This is so intense that so much humility emerges. I don't know if I'm ready to leave everything, but I know I can try. Can you help me now? My body is at home in Italy, but my heart is at Monte Sahaja. Thank you so much, Sangha. Thank you, Guruji. So much gratitude. Namaste, Kumari in Italy. Very nice. Dear Guru, I have to deal with a trial on downloading child pornography that my persona until 3 years ago was guilty for. Is it wise that I share this part of my awakening experience with those that come in my path? My experience is that those who know me, and I have told, become inspired to spirituality. However, for most people today, this seems to be knowledge that could strengthen the illusion of separation. Thank you so much for coming in my path. No name there. Let me look. I have to deal with trial on downloading child pornography that my persona until 3 years ago was guilty for. Is it wise that I share this part of my awakening experience with those that come on my path? It is very open, very brave, and very honest. I could even say loving even, to take that seeming risk to declare something that has such a powerful social taboo and to say, I was doing this, and this was part of my persona's expression up until 3 years ago. Because knowing that some people would immediately say, I don't care how much you have changed, I don't want to talk with you. There are people like that, you see. My experience is that those who know me, and I've told, become inspired to spirituality, meaning that because they may see someone whose habit is so what you may call a classical theme and way in which we easily reject such a person. You see? And that one brings himself forward and say, yes, I was doing this until 3 years ago, but I'm reformed because I have found this truth. I have found the truth inside my heart, and I'm set free from this. And this is actually a challenge to humanity to say, do you have it in you to forgive and to be open? Because we still also judge others and compare the worst in others with the best in ourselves. You see? So it is good that sometimes people are challenged to look and say, you know what? You know, this has been good for me to hear. You see? It means that there's a chance for me. If such things can be transcended, then there's a chance for me. And there's a chance for many people. And I'm happy because of that, for as many as can go through the door. If I can hold it with all my strength open for as many to go through, then I'll be at the door to open it, if it's in my power to do that. However, for most people today, this seems to be knowledge that could strengthen the illusion of separation. Yes. If it is what I have just mentioned, that some people will say, any other thing I can forgive, but that no. You see. And sometimes we have certain habits that you see the best thing, you see many good things, but in the end when you comment, you have to find a bad thing. You may say, hey, that is really, really good, but didn't like that dress, or whatever. And I would encourage you, let go of that. Let go of that, of those little remnants, and feel immediately how clean everything flows in your kindness. You see? Because very often I see people, they say, yes, I'm here for this, I'm here for this. But in your actions you deny it. And hold on to little judgments, little things, and sustain certain kind of perverted ways of thinking and judgments that contaminate and make it more difficult for you, because they build up this cholesterol of negativity, and your aspiration to be free becomes weakened because of them. And these are things that you can drop they drop easily, you see, and with great joy. That 1 minute you say something negative towards someone, or think it even, and you try to reverse that and find, because you can always find something beautiful, something positive, without making it up. You see? And see how immediately you change your climate, how you raise the level of your consciousness in such a simple way. So give up those habits, because then everything is to support your complete awakening. You see? So just kick off those bacteria and feel your flow, uninterrupted flow. So this may seem to be knowledge that could make or strengthen the illusion of separation. Thank you so much for coming in my path. Very good. I'll do one more for now. See. Most beloved Mooji, let me bow down at your feet. Only one prayer. Would you please accept me as an offering for God? I'm ready to be swallowed completely. Please accept this Guru Purnima offering. That is all my existence. That is all my existence is for Moojiji. With all my love, Sapna. Who writes like this, you see? Will you accept me as an offering to God? I am ready to be swallowed completely. Who comes like that? Especially if it is not the gesture of merely an emotional moment or mood, but it is a continuous feeling, then how long will it go before it is satisfied, you see? Moojiji, happy Guru Purnima. Thank you for the incredible blessing and opportunity to join the retreat virtually. I had an experience where I felt like I was about to die. Something was asking to let go, and there was a sudden remembrance of Ramana Maharshi's acceptance of death by lying down and accepting it. I tried. There was so much fear, but then doubt. I could not. In some way, I asked for the experience to stop. Please help me. How can I overcome this? And Pragati Chaudhry in Georgia, USA, has written this, you see. I had an experience where I felt I was going to die. Many people have had also sometimes panic attacks, and you feel, I'm going to die, you see, like this. And it also reminded me that Ramana Maharshi's account that happened, no? That he accepted this death experience by lying down and being prepared, offering himself, okay, I'm going to go. Let's see. But if I'm going to pass away now, I want to witness it up to the very last moment. You see? And now you say, I tried this also. There was so much fear, but then doubt. A lot of fear come, but then doubt. I could not. In some way, I asked for the experience to stop. You see? It's not necessary to wish it upon yourself. You know? If it comes, and then your response may say, okay, let's see where this goes. But it's not necessary to try and trigger one. You see? And then somehow it worked like this. You may think, oh, I failed. But no, maybe you are not meant to do this. So this is why your doubts come, and you stop for now. Now, don't retain this as though, oh, I really botched it. I could have really gone through, and then this doubt came, and I dismounted or something. No, it's just leave it now. Leave it now. It's fine for now. So, die consciously, meaning that you keep looking in the way that you're being pointed, you see, and follow it. Don't edit my words, because mind wants to say, well, yeah, I'm sure he meant this. No, but I'm speaking clear enough. You're here to watch all of this, the movement of thought and feelings and doubts and so on, and you're reminded, but these are just sensations, just clouds passing. You don't need to interfere with them. Let them go. But the minute you identify, you bring it close, and it joins your kingdom. Then you have to deal with him. Let everything come and go. Let them come. and keep paying attention to your own self, and you'll find that you're quite complete. And in your completeness, there's no need, there's no lacking, there's no desire. You just keep like this. Now you may feel or think that if I stay like this, then nothing will get done. I want you to observe if this is true. Didn't one sage say, I do nothing, yet nothing remains undone? You see, everything is taken care of, but not with the feeling I did them, and yet this body participated to do what it needed to do, that those activities are accomplished, but not with a strong sense of doership, you see. In the same way, say if you love what you do, you don't feel like it is work. When you stay as the self, you don't feel like you are the doer. At the back, someone there, come. Okay, come. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
It feels like I found something.
Yes.
The problem is there's still an I that feels like it's found something.
Okay, what is found? What has been found?
There's something, there's a power here.
Yes.
It's thick. Everything is in it somehow.
Yes.
And when it meets at this point, there is nothing else.
When it meets at this point,
Somehow, it meets something here.
it meets something. Is there a meeting?
No, it's just one thing.
Yes, that's good. Yeah. What has been causing that is the mind is trying to say that it got something. So it's almost that the mind is wanting to say, when it meets me, then things work out. But it didn't meet the mind, you see. It just is. So your intuition is completely correct, that it is here and everything is in it. Does it have any proportion? No.
In fact, when the attention itself comes from it, because
Yes.
it merges back into it.
Yes.
But there's no one to take any credit for it. It all happened very spontaneously.
Yes, yes.
I mean, with the amazing duo of my life guru and my Satguru, it was inevitable.
Yes.
I mean, I could never have done it without you.
Yes.
I walked out of my life
Yes.
to realize I didn't walk out of anything.
Yes. Very good.
Can you please take whatever arrogance is left, even though it is not me, just, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. It will dissipate by itself now in the power and the light of your confirmation, you see. Because this that you're in recognition of now, yes, this is the womb itself of the entire manifest world. Everything that exists and never existed and will exist, actually or potentially, takes its birth here and is supported from here and collapses into here. This is the all-encompassing one, the supreme. You may call the Lord of the universe or pure awareness. It is the same one. Just keep falling in love with it until you are no more. No separate lover or separate beloved anymore. This will happen very much by itself. You don't have to worry. Now you simply enjoy. You enjoy that this is it, and marinate in this seeing, this revelation in you. You see, and it doesn't matter how long it takes for this dross to burn off. It is okay. Sometimes it is kept also to burn slowly as deeper refinement take place in your seeing, you see. It's not that necessarily all the dross has to be taken, all the rubbish has to be taken, quick. No, because the self doesn't mind any of that. Just you have chosen this, somehow you the self have chosen yourself. You see? So whatever is appearing to be the non-self, the remnants of sleep will dissipate. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you go off to work, there's still some sleep in you. But some part of the day it's gone. In the same way, they are gone. They say, at first many people, you have many affairs and you flirt about a bit. But when you find that one and fall deeply in love, all other flirtings completely come to an end. You see? When you meet the beloved, all the flirtations, they come to an end. So you have met your beloved now. And you only are going to melt and merge in that completely. You see? The little X's will come now and again. But they won't stand a chance now, you see. This is how it is. You found that contains and swallows and encompasses everything. You see? Both the animated one and the inanimate one. Everything comes from this. Is sustained in this. Every being is like connected to this through some invisible umbilical cord. Slowly being pulled back into a source. This is your great fortune, no? And for a while even, sometimes some arrogance come, little ego come, blah, blah, blah. But then you catch him, you see. You catch him. And then when you catch him, when you make any kind of mistake, like something selfishness, it will hurt 10 times more than before. You see? Because it feels such an imposter. It feels such a terrible thing. You see, you don't, wait. Whereas before you can say, yeah. And this is your way. This is your inner Zen stick that is slapping you into, you see, into your own established state. So it's so good. Everyone is happening for this. Everybody is going to come. That gradually, the sense of separation between mind and heart is seen to be illusory. They merge as one. For as long as consciousness delays by pretending to be a person, it will perpetuate the state of separation and suffering and all of this, which also it wants to do that also for a while. It even enjoys. But at a certain time, as it matures and is ready now to again shake off the, like they say, the duck shakes off the water. Just with a few shakes, then immediately you see, you're in your right place again. So I'm very, very happy for this, and it will continue. Enjoy the adventure of self-deliverance.
Thank you, Guruji.
You see. Thank you. Very good. I remember a time also in the early days when it was manifesting so strongly, this, what I call the Holy Spirit or the Spirit of Truth, of God. It was so strong. And I was quite shy, because sometimes when I could feel it, it was like a glow, a living fire. And I would walk on the back streets. I didn't like to walk on the main street because I didn't like people look at me and like, oh, what's going on with you? Because they couldn't understand what it is, And sometimes even the people are behaving in ways that's out of character for them. Sometimes I'll be walking through the market, on a few occasions that's happened, and it was very powerful, the vibration of self. And I could feel many people touching, like unnecessarily for a market, because we can walk in the marketplace without touching anybody. It was lots of touching. And I could feel it, and I understood intuitively what was happening, you see. And I didn't want to look because I was a bit too embarrassed. So I just kept walking, like that. And but one day I was on a bus, and these are the buses now that have a driver and conductor on the buses. And there was one lady, she was a conductor, meaning she takes the tickets and this type of thing, no? And she was very kind, and she was always looking after people. And I was feeling this feeling that I would kind of touch her hand or something, that would be a kind of blessing or something like that. So I was getting off the bus, and her hand was on the rail. I put my hand on her hand, and she pulled it away like this. And immediately I saw it was an inappropriate thing, because it came from my mind. You understand? So you have to gradually learn more and more to discern when it is simply flowing. And it's got nothing to do with intention, which comes from the person, you see. And so all of these things, you're being educated from inside. And you will trust and find. And there's no school you can go to that can replace this inner teacher. Be open to it. You see. And you'll find that still ego comes in now and again from the past, you see. And you think, what this is the Lord. Wrong guy. You see? But you will learn so quickly. You see? You'll feel, and the things they burn so quick. And so what would have ordinarily taken maybe 6 years to process, if you're lucky, can be burned simply in one morning. It's all gone. In the earnest heart. Because you so love, you're so totally pouring everything that comes in your mind with a label of I on it, you're pouring it into the fire of the truth. Of everything. Don't put your name on anything. Put that name also in the fire, in the white fire of grace. Put them. Because the more you offer up of yourself, you get rid of yourself, the more you are of you. This is a funny thing. The more you give away of you, the more you find of you. Of the true you, the true self. Yes, come now.
Namaste.
Namaste.
There's a lot of movement, but there's also nothing.
Yes, very good. In the past, we think one or the other. You see? That even there can be a tremendous storm, and yet there's tremendous peace. Simultaneously, you see. You say there's movement, but there's also nothing.
For a long time, I was trying to discipline myself to truth.
Yeah.
I was struggling with addictions, sexual addictions, many things. And it feels like even that is full of grace. Every problem I ever had is just it's nothing.
Yes.
Something wants to do something, but there's at the same time it's nothing. I was dancing today, and there was a lot of joy, but also there was no.
Yes.
And the more there was no, the more there was joy.
Yes.
I have nothing to do.
Yeah.
Somewhere it feels it feels very new, very unexperienced, but somewhere it feels like it was always here.
Yes. Total naturalness. Total naturalness, you see. All the movements, they're like the clouds passing. But the clouds cannot remove the sky. They're just passing. Now you've found your sky being. That everything is passing. Lightning, thunder, rainbows, rain, sunshine, moonlight, everything passing. But you are not passing. You found what is not passing.
I'm full of gratitude.
I am full of joy for you. Yeah.
It feels like I see you, but at the same time, it's everything.
Yes.
It's not this, it's
Yes.
just...
Yes. You are seeing with your everythingness. You see? Yeah.
Thank you. Can I lie my head to your feet?
Yes, you can do this. What greater joy can one find in this life? Than to experience things but not get caught up in them. To see from the unchanging, from the unmoving, from the imperishable, from the beginningless, from the unending. This is what you are discovering. Very good. Thank you so much. Dear Sri Mooji, thank you for opening your home for all of us to return home with your guidance and grace. My question for you is pertaining to the ego. After all these years of chasing a concept I thought was me, trying to love something that was always changing, I realized I only needed to fall in love with my true self, which was perfect, and with this I felt a tremendous sense of relief and freedom. Is this just another trick of the ego, or is this remembering the self? I realized I only needed to fall in love with my true self. So first, you have to recognize what your true self is. You see? And not a projection of self. But you have found it. Then if you find it, you will naturally fall in love with it. You see? If you find it, you'll naturally fall in love with it, you see? So this, with my true self, which was perfect, and with this I felt a tremendous sense of relief and freedom. Is this just another trick of the ego, or is this remembering the self, you see? Yeah. Well, I felt what I just said is important. When you recognize the self, it is revealed, you see. It is not produced, it is revealed. And somehow, in it revealing itself, the sense of you as a separate entity is on a countdown. You see? It's simply like this ice in warm water, just melting slowly. Everything returning to source. Mm-hmm. Also, here is a poem I wrote in gratitude to you for pointing me home. With a single thought, I fell from your grace. I found myself lost and afraid. But now your light has guided me home. I surrender completely into your embrace. Namaste and much love, Sue Rhodes. Sue Rhodes. We're always experiencing the self, but not aware of it. We're always experiencing self, but not aware of it, attributing it to something else. And so it takes the color of the thing you think it is. Now, my question is pertaining to the ego. After all these years of chasing a concept I thought was me, was myself, trying to love something that was always changing, it's always changing, I realized I only needed to fall in love with my true self. Actually, falling in love with what is always changing is possible also. When you are the unchanging, you can enjoy even the momentary soap bubble experiences of life. You will see divinity in them also. But if they are changing and you are changing, then you will feel frustration, you see. You will collide, but you cannot stay. For a while, like a magnet, some force pulls you in another direction. See? But as you find the true, the stable, the real, the unchanging, then very much you will enjoy the changing and see the unchanging in the changing. And see the health and the necessity of the changing. trying to love something that was always changing, I realized I only needed to fall in love with my true self, which was perfect. And with this, I felt a tremendous sense of relief and freedom. You see? Yeah. Because through the senses, the mind seems to be always shopping through the senses, you see, for experience. You see? Always going out, going out. But you found that which is not going out. It's not even going in. It is, you see. And with that, a great unburdening happens. So this is why you use the word, you feel relief, you see, and freedom. That's very good. Myself, my heart. All is a distance from you, from this heart that is truth itself, yet all is in you. This life of yours, this life is you. Destroy it if you wish, or let it shine with your light. It can be no other way. In every face you are. Even as delusion, you dance. And even if you rise as ignorance and identification for the rest of this life, it will be you dancing for yourself. For I am left with nothing, and I would live 1,000,000 more lifetimes to love you once. Thank you, my master. My life, myself. If you will allow it, this I will be made you. I love you, Shakti, California. Who is writing like this? Just come.
God bless you, Mooji. There's a time for self-inquiry,
Yes.
a time for disregarding, and a time for chopping, although I can't chop anything, you only can do it. And yesterday, I could see all the judgment arising, and even the one thing I thought was true in me, which is this longing for truth and for God. I thought it was the only true thing.
Yes.
There was a voice saying, "You're even faking it. It's not true. You're faking this because you're faking everything. You just want Mooji to see you. You just want to be important. You just want to be recognized. You just want to be loved." And my question to you is, yesterday I felt very harsh to this voice, and there was no love at all. And today, singing the bhajans, some compassion arose out of nowhere. And my question is, can there be any love for the character, for the person? Because I see it in everybody.
Yes.
And if there is love for this person, will it make the agony last longer? Because, okay, the person doesn't exist, but just saying to her, "You're just a dream, die now," it won't do.
Yes, it will not do. It will not do. I think a few days ago I told you an account of a young woman who came to see me. I told you about this, no? And that she was so actually demoralized in herself, so low, at such a low place inside her feelings. And so it was necessary to lift her back up and to say, and it felt truthful also. To say, but what are you doing? You are simply punishing yourself for something that is not even in your hands. And look what about this and what about that? And could feel again the life force returning. And, just so weak. You see? So you ask a question, is there any validity actually in the person receiving love if ultimately it does not exist? But the person is also consciousness. And without the love of the Supreme, of the Mother of it, it stands no chance. The one who shaped it into even conceptually, provides love for it to grow, because consciousness grows through the human instrument also. It learns to be more refined and to experience compassion and honesty and openness and love and all of this. You see? But it is not your final state. It is a phase of consciousness, but it's not your final state. So somehow we have to experience. It is not good. Maybe it has to be tasted in some case, that consciousness gets a good beating up. For a while it gets beaten up for whatever God's intention is. That it will somehow grow back, having discharged something that could not be transcended in any other way. No one can evaluate this. But love is there. Love is in everything, actually. It's very difficult to see if you look only with the eyes of a person. But with wiser eyes, you do see. There was a time myself, I was always one who I hated to see anyone being beaten up, especially being taken advantage of and picking on the weak and so on like that. No, I was always stepping into fights actually to try and stop them. I was very lucky I didn't get beaten up myself, but always hey brother, and it was nice. It was a good feeling actually. And even the people who I stopped from getting into fights, they thanked me. They said, "Thank you. I didn't really want to do this, like this." I remember many times, even in the market, working in my chai shop days, I saw one man, and what had happened is that, he had gone in the markets with his wife, and basically he was just a donkey, basically carrying the shopping, and she was going around buying all the things, and bags and bags and bags, and he was standing up in the sunlight waiting for her as she chatted with her friends and stuff, and he just lost it, actually. He took the whole shopping and and he was in a rage. We went and said, "Brother, no, stop like this, no?" But I feel that your question is about this. Yes, it is God's love. He has to take care of all the beings, even the demons he must take care of. Because in the grand scheme of things, they work for him also. He will provide each one with precisely the kind of thing that they enjoy. The trick is not to be identified with your role. Not an easy thing, you see. And in your case, you speak about it, that the mind will be always also somehow coming and saying, look at you, you don't deserve this and so on. And I said to you before, who is it speaking to? It must be one of these. Either it's speaking to the pure self. Yeah? You're not worthy. Can you imagine Satan saying to God, "You're not worthy. Yeah? You really screwed up the earth." And God said, "Did I really?" "Yes, you did." No, so it's not speaking to the pure self, which is you. And is it speaking to the body? Like telling the body? Well, the body doesn't know anything like this. It doesn't, think, yeah, okay, all right, No, so it's not the body. Is it the mind speaking to the mind? No. Mind by itself does not exist. Mind is a kind of relationship. It is this cocktail of the self in the form of consciousness or presence, identified with the body and the conditioning arising with the body, that forms itself into an identity called a person. It is that person that the mind is speaking to. In other words, it is the idea you have of who you are, which is not secure, that suffers the attacks of the mind. You're not ready, you're not good enough. It's still consciousness, but it is contaminated with personhood, person poison. Because the person tends to be selfish, full of desire and attachment, insecure, and all of these things. Arrogant also. So it's very susceptible to the voice of this serpent mind. They work together, Yeah, you're not good enough. Or you're very good. You're better than all of them. You see? I saw this movie, is it Lord of the Rings? With the character, Gollum. He is a very good character, actually. Because it is really quite, and it's an exaggerated form, but some minds are like that, even. You see? It's like this, and then suddenly he's like this, and he's like that. And the mind can be like that also. You see? He tells you, go and do this thing. And then when you get caught, he says, you shouldn't have done that. You see? It's the same one. His voice is not reliable. You see? But he's there for a reason. That you, the wiser one, who has the capacity, and you have the advantage because you are the self. And you must dig deep to find your power, rather than give it away by simply identifying with the body. And this tension is needed for consciousness to transcend. It has to feel the pressure, it has to feel the pain, to give it the aspiration to move out. It gets stuck into the position or the posture of a person, you see. The more you stay in the position of the person, which is also seems credible because the person is in an evolutionary movement of growing and feeling, oh, I'm glad I gave that up, and so on, moving. It is the consciousness, but it is a slower path. If it is only your path of identifying as the seeker, getting slowly coming closer to God and so on. You cannot be close to God. Because God has no distance. You see? It can only be experienced through his maya, his dream. You are the God itself also, appearing in the form of a person, as limitation, as separation. So comes pride, arrogance, deceit, selfishness, preferences, aspiration. All of these things come alive for the person, which is not there for the self because the self needs none of that thing. So it is the person that feels it. And if you feel you're only the person, so much more will your suffering be because you'll run out of space. You are completely become claustrophobic. One of the great illnesses is the sense of the lack of inner space. And the devil is quite happy to take up some rooms in your house. You'll quickly feel filled and, there's nowhere to go. I got to get out. Whereas in the self, you're unending space. And what is the distance between these two? How wide is the gap, if there is one? Only the gap of a thought. Create all this. The more you discover this in your heart, the greater your joy is. When you see, you begin to laugh. Some people see that they have not laughed for a long time because the ego is very serious. You only laugh at others. So it is not that the person is here to be punished, not at all, but to be inspired back into their original self. And let us learn by example. It is like you cannot force someone to be kind. You see? But sometimes we have to make rules, and then the rules everybody know, and after a while they see actually it was good, quite good actually. Very few see, yeah, it's good from the start. No, you make your change, then you say actually it is quite good. So we have to be stretched. But abused, it's in the plan of the great scheme also, but it's not a nice part of the play.
So there is room for compassion when it arises out of nowhere for the character.
Of course. Why to leave that out? This life also, that it is enjoyed, we should not feel guilty for enjoying the life. Not at all, it can be enjoyed. To be addicted to it is different. But to enjoy, look at it, it's full of beauty. Spoiled only by the ego. It's full of beauty. Many things in life also, you know. I totally enjoy them. Some music, something I've been watching recently, lots of the X Factor and stuff like this. And sometimes I see some talented people, and I'm moved very, very deeply in my being to see this, you know, because it is the God Self. Everybody manifests the God Self at some point, and then have then some other things also. But you know, they sparkle, you know, in it, and it is so amazing. I'm so moved. I so enjoy. I so love it. Sometimes when I leave here, I go watch YouTube. America's Got Talent. Australian one is very good. I'm enjoying it at the moment. And things why I should not enjoy. No. But source of that joy is the self. And when we are in that, somehow the rest is simply reflected joy. But this is neat. Direct, the self. And it is not addicted to joy. How can be addicted? Joy is its perfume. The flower is not addicted to its perfume. I would much rather be in the company of worldly-minded people who are having a good time and genuinely than, you know, in miserable devotees. That is not strictly true, because sometimes people are going through their, you know, some cathartic thing, and this is very different. They're not miserable. They are somehow just vomiting, basically. Which I know is also very good, burping out all this stale stuff, because you know the light has been somehow obscured in some way. The light does not suffer being hidden. It is always perfect. You see? It doesn't even know it's hidden. The sun doesn't know it's blocked by some cloud. So when you speak of compassion, where would the world be without compassion and love and kindness and unselfishness, generosity, friendships?
it can become self-indulging. You understand what I mean?
No, tell me, explain.
That you see the ego tricks and the strategies and you say, oh, it's because you're suffering. Self-indulging, you don't...
No, say again, I miss it.
You take too much pity on yourself, on your character, and then it makes that he's going to live longer, because there are moments where you can feel compassion.
Yes.
I mean, consciousness feel compassion for itself, and moments you have to dismiss it.
This is the difference between the compassion that flows from an egoic mind, which is also compassion, and a compassion that flows from the wise. They will not overfeed you. You see? It's always appropriate. Enough, and then when sufficient, good chop. Because it's needed to bring you again back to the self. But they will not starve, you're not the extremists in this way. You see? This is your natural, what you may call equanimity or balance. Something just knows, intuitively also. It makes the best parent also, because it doesn't get conned and tricked into ways. It knows what is needed. In every aspect of life, the self proves every time it is the best, because it has no selfish motive. Always it serves the all. So self-indulgence and so on, and no, it would not encourage that. It sees a place for everything in a way that the mind cannot see like that. It's the power of the intuitive self. And it does not have to practice that. It doesn't have to save up and study this. It flows completely naturally. Just like water, you pour it down the hill, you don't have to tell it where to go. It goes exactly where it needs to go. The self does exactly what is right.
Thank you.
Very good.
Can I come up?
Yes. Can we have the musicians come as well? And,
Thank you for the prayers.
yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
I have this bhajan from where I come from, Gujarat. There was a Devi saint. Her name is Ganga Sati. She's very renowned in Gujarat itself, but not anywhere else. And this is a dialogue between her and her disciple. And it conveys the message.
You have a picture of her?
I can show
Get one
it.
then.
Okay. And my mother is watching, so it's for her also.
Okay.
Hey Jire, વીજળી ને ચમકારે મોતીડા પરોવો પાનબાઈ વીજળી ને ચમકારે મોતીડા પરોવો પાનબાઈ અચાનક અંધારા થાશે જી. જોત રે જોતામાં દિવસો વિયારે જશે પાનબાઈ. 21,600 કાળ થાશે જી. વીજળીને ચમકારે મોતીડા પરોવો પાનબાઈ. અચાનક અંધારા થાશે જી. જાણ્યા રે જેવી આ તો અજાણ છે કોઈ વસ્તુ. અધૂરિયાને નો કહેવાય જી. આ ગુપ્ત રસનો ખેલ અટપટોને આટી મેલો તો સમજાય રે. આટી મેલો તો સમજાય રે. માન રે મેલીને તમે આવો ને મેદાન મારે. માન રે મેલીને તમે આવો ને મેદાન માને. જાણીને જીવડા કેરી જાત રે. હેજી જાણીને જીવડા કેરી જાત જી. સજાતી વિજાતીની જુગતી બતાવું ને. બે પાડી દઉં બીજી ભાતજી. હે બીબે પાડી દઉં બીજી ભાતજી. વીજળીને ચમકારે મોતીડા પરોવો પાનબાઈ. અચાનક અંધારા થાશે જી. પિંડ રે બ્રહ્માંડ પર છે. પિંડને બ્રહ્માંડની પર છે ગુરુજી મારા. પિંડ રે બ્રહ્માંડની પર છે ગુરુજી મારા. એનો રે દેખાડું તમને દેશ રે. હેજી એનો દેખાડું તમને દેશ રે. ગંગા સતી જોને એમ જ બોલિયા રે. ગંગા સતી જોને એમ જ બોલિયા રે. ત્યાં નહીં માયા કેરો ફંદજી. હેજી ત્યાં નહીં માયા કેરો ફંદજી. વીજળીને ચમકારે મોતીડા પરોવો પાનબાઈ. अचानक अंधारा था जी है जी अचानक अंधारा था जी.
Yeah.
So the Sati was Ganga Sati, and her disciple was only one disciple, which was Panbai, and it's in relation is mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Before she died, she wanted to transmit her knowledge. She was completely illiterate, but this word just poured out of her, and she gave it to Panbai, where she's saying that in the strike of lightning, this knowledge will come to you. And in that lightning, in that moment of lightning, as if in that light you see the thread and a needle and a bead, and you do your work, daily work, and be in that, like you explained. I don't know how to explain easily. Here she's saying, જાણ્યા રે જેવી આ તો અજાણ છે કોઈ વસ્તુ અધૂરી આને ના કહેવાય રે. This is something which is unknown but very necessary to know. And you cannot tell it to everybody like who doesn't have time in life. So who are totally like so rest in it. And માન રે મેલીને તમે આવો ને મેદાનમાં. Leave your ego aside and just come in this battlefield and jump in this fire. Then I can show you what life is about. પિંડને બ્રહ્માંડની પર છે ગુરુજી મારા. એનો રે દેખાડું તમને દેશજી. The circle of life and death and Brahmand and lively world, all this doesn't touch my Guruji, but he's still here. I show you his world. Ganga Sati is telling, Ganga Sati જોને એમ જ બોલ્યા ત્યાં નહીં માયા કેરો ફંદરે. Ganga Sati is telling that world is without maya, without attachments.
Yes.
Yet existing.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it is true. The world is without Maya. Maya is in the mind. And the mind is in the world. And the world is in the self. Thank you. Begot from mom? Okay.